was the Crux-ansata, the symbol of life itself. The symbol vanished, the fire sank. Again it blazed up more fiercely than before, and the loop appeared afresh, then once more disappeared. A third time the fire shone, and with such intensity that no lightning could surpass its brilliance. All around the heavens were lit up, and through the black needle-shaped eye of the symbol, as from the flare of a beacon, or the searchlight of a ship, one fierce ray shot across the sea of mountain tops and the spaces of the desert, straight as an arrow to the lofty peak on which we lay. Yes, it lit upon the snow, staining it red, and upon the wild white faces of us who watched, though to the right and left of us spread thick darkness. My compass lay before me on the snow, and I could even see its needle, and beyond us the shape of a white fox that had crept near, scenting food. Then it was gone as swiftly as it came, gone to where the symbol and the veil of flame behind it, only the glow lingered a little on the distant sky. For a while there was silence between us, then Leo said, "Do you remember, Horace, when we lay upon the rocking stone where her cloak fell upon me?" As he said the words, the breath caught in his throat. "How the ray of light was sent to us in farewell, and to show us a path of escape from the place of death. Now I think that it has been sent again, in greeting to point out the path to the place of life where Ayesha dwells, whom we have lost awhile." "It may be so," I answered shortly, for the matter was beyond speech or argument, beyond wonder even. But I knew then, as I know now, that we were players in some mighty, predestined drama, that our parts were written and we must speak them, as our path was prepared and we must tread it to the end unknown. Fear and doubt were left behind, hope was sunk in certainty, the foreshadowing visions of the night had found an actual fulfilment, and the pitiful seed of the promise of her who died, growing unseen through all the cruel empty years, had come to harvest. No, we feared no more, not even when with the dawn rose the roaring wind through which we struggled down the mountain slopes, as it would seem in peril of our lives at every step, not even as hour by hour we fought our way onwards through the whirling snowstorm that made us deaf and blind, for we knew that those lives were charmed. We could not see or hear, yet we were led. Clinging to the ark, we struggled downward and homewards, till at length out of the turmoil of the gloom its instinct brought us unharmed to the door of the monastery, where the old abbot embraced us in his joy, and the monks put up prayers of thanks, for they were sure that we must be dead. Through such a storm, they said, no man had ever lived before. It was still midwinter, and oh, the awful weariness of those months of waiting. In our hands was the key, yonder amongst those mountains lay the door, but not yet might we set that key within its lock, for between us and these stretched the great desert where the snow rolled like billows, and until that snow melted we dared not attempt its passage. So we sat in the monastery and schooled our hearts to patience. Still, even to these frozen wilds of Central Asia, spring comes at last. One evening the air felt warm, and that night there were only a few degrees of frost. The next the clouds banked up, and in the morning no snow was falling from them, but rain, and we found the old monks preparing their instruments of husbandry, as they said that the season of sowing was at hand. For 3 days it rained, while the snow melted before our eyes. On the fourth torrents of water were rushing down the mountain, and the desert was once more brown and bare, though not for long, for within another week it was carpeted with flowers. Then we knew that the time had come to start. "But whither go you? Whither go you?" asked the old abbot in dismay. "Are you not happy here? Do you not make great strides along the path, as be known by your pious conversation? Is not everything that we have your own? Oh, why would you leave us?" "We are wanderers," we answered, "and when we see mountains in front of us, we must cross them." Kou en looked at us shrewdly, then asked, what do you seek beyond the mountains? And, my brethren, what merit is gathered by hiding the truth from an old man? For such concealments are separated from falsehoods by the length of a single barleycorn. Tell me, that at least my prayers may accompany you." "Holy Abbot," I said, "a while ago yonder in the library you made a certain confession to us." "Oh, remind me not of it," he said, holding up his hands. "Why do you wish to torment me?" "Far be the thought from us, most kind friend and virtuous man," I answered. "But as it chances, your story is very much our own, and we think that we have experience of this same priestess." "Speak on," he said, much interested. So I told him the outlines of our tale. For an hour or more I told it while he sat opposite us swaying his head like a tortoise and saying nothing. At length it was done. "Now," I added, "let the lamp of your wisdom shine upon our darkness. Do you not find this story wondrous, or do you perchance think that we are liars?" "Brethren of the great monastery called the World," Kou en answered with his customary chuckle, "why should I think you liars, who from the moment my eyes fell upon you knew you to be true men? Moreover, why should I hold this tale so very wondrous? You have but stumbled upon the fringe of a truth with which we have been acquainted for many, many ages. Because in a vision she showed you this monastery and led you to a spot beyond the mountains where she vanished, you hope that this woman whom you saw die is reincarnated yonder. Why not? In this there is nothing impossible to those who are instructed in the truth, though the lengthening of her last life was strange and contrary to experience. Doubtless you will find her there as you expect, and doubtless her karma or identity is the same as that which in some earlier life of hers once brought me to sin. Only be not mistaken, she is no immortal. Nothing is immortal. She is but a being held back by her own pride, her own greatness if you will, upon the path towards Nirvana. That pride will be humbled, as already has been humbled. That brow of majesty shall be sprinkled with the dust of change and death. That sinful spirit must be purified by sorrows and by separations. Brother Leo, if you win her, it will be but to lose, and then the ladder must be reclimbed. Brother Holly, for you as for me loss is our only gain, since thereby we are spared much woe. Oh, bide here and pray with me. Why dash yourselves against a rock? Why labour to pour water into a broken jar, whence it must sink into the sands of profitless experience, and there be wasted, whilst you remain athirst?" "Water makes the sand fertile," I answered. "Where water falls, life comes, and sorrow is the seed of joy." "Love is the law of life," broke in Leo. "Without love there is no life. I seek love that I may live. I believe that all these things are ordained to an end which we do not know. Fate draws me on, I fulfil my fate, and do but delay your freedom. Yet I will not argue with you, brother, who must follow your own road. See now what has this woman, this priestess of a false faith, if she be so still, brought you in the past. Once in another life or so, I understand your story, you were sworn to a certain nature goddess who was named Isis, were you not, and to her alone? Then a woman tempted you, and you fled with her afar. And there what found you? The betrayed and avenging goddess who slew you, or if not the goddess, one who had drunk of her wisdom and was the minister of her vengeance. Having that wisdom, this minister, woman or evil spirit, refused to die because she had learned to love you, but waited knowing that in your next life she would find you again, as indeed she would have done more swiftly in Devachan had she died without living